Welcome back to Podcast Recovery, everybody. We are your hosts, David O.
And Eric V.
Today we are joined by our very special guest, Bradley W.
Hey, Brad.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Brad. You seem drastically excited.
I'm very excited.
Very excited. You're just tired.
Yes.
How you doing, man? How's your day been?
Long and good.
Good.
And no complaints, just tired. That's all.
I hear you.
Cool,
It's a
man.
little late to be doing a podcast, but
It's a little bit late.
I don't know though. There's no rules, I guess. So
No rules.
No
all right,
rules here.
let's do it.
Rules.
Where are you from, Brad?
Columbia, Maryland.
Columbia, Maryland.
Cool.
I feel like a lot of your guests are from Columbia,
A
Maryland.
lot of them actually are.
Yes. It's. Well, no.
I'm
Just a
excited for
couple.
the first person who's like truly out of state. So
I mean, yeah.
truly,
That'll happen.
truly.
We'll get them. And when were you first introduced to recovery?
2011.
2011. And how much clean time do you have?
7 years and a couple days.
7 years and a couple days.
Very cool.
Congratulations on your extra couple days after 7 years.
Thank you.
And without further ado, we're going to turn it over to you, man.
Alrighty. Just like that, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
Out of the frying pan and into the fire.
All right, let me get this yawn out. Yes. So recovery has been good to me. Yep, I just celebrated Wednesday 7 years. My clean date would be August 20th, 2011. So it's actually been a few weeks.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a long, great ride, up and downs, and Eric's writing notes. That's good. But anyway, I guess let me get through my story real quick because it's pretty bland, pretty generic. I came from a decent sized family, lots of siblings, 4 sisters and a brother to be exact, and was pretty active kid, outdoors, liked to play sports, was out skating, rollerblading to be exact. Some might call it fruit booting, whatever. That's what I did.
That's true.
I've
Yes.
still never heard that.
You still
term.
never heard that?
I just have I've never heard it called fruit booting. It sounds really dirty though.
You're not really into
There's wood pushers and there's fruit booters.
yeah.
What?
Wood pushers,
Wood, yeah. Skateboarders.
there's
wood pushers.
skateboarders. And then the fruit booters are the guys with the things strapped to their feet.
And then there's the dickheads with razor scooters who are just turds.
Okay. Yeah.
These
Those
are
guys too.
yeah.
I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah. Anyway, so I was one of those guys. And, oh man, excuse me. Very active and liked to be outside. Had a core group of friends. We hung out every day and we just did stuff all day. And it was pretty good, pretty fun childhood. You know what I mean? My parents kind of just let me do whatever I wanted as far as they'd be like, go out, play. I'd go out, play, and I'd come home at night. You know what I mean? So anyway, that was childhood. And then I guess where things got a little fishy for me was going into, middle school. That's when things started to change a little bit because, girls became more of a thing. Fitting in became more of a thing. And trying to be cool. Actually, I always tried to be cool. But, trying to be, popular and fit in with everyone. Which really actually wasn't hard. But at the same time, to me, it felt like it was really hard. And I didn't feel like I fit in. So I just remember feeling different. And I remember, my real 2 close buddies, were always, better than me for whatever reason. They just had better clothes, they looked better than me, whatever, they were just on a pedestal and I was below them. And I felt different for whatever reason. So, going on, yeah, that was a weird time. And eventually, I guess, I'm kind of not, where do I go with this? Eventually, I tried drugs for the first time, right? some of us do. But that for me, I remember the first time using was just weed, and I actually didn't even enjoy it, but I wanted to keep doing it to fit in and whatever, to be cool.
Yeah.
But eventually that shit just took over for me. And it took me out of myself, like literally just, any thoughts and feelings when I was high, they weren't there anymore. You know what I mean? Actually, well, yeah, they were there, but it was just like I needed to keep doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it progressed.
All the kids were doing it.
All the kids were doing it. I had to fit in. I had to be cool. Right? So that's where it started. But little did I know I had the bug where, the shit was different for me. And I figured that out very quickly for a few reasons. I figured that out pretty quickly. I watched my sisters who were older than me go through their addiction, for one. So I remember resenting my sisters because they got hooked on drugs, and that I got to see like the chaos and all that stuff that it caused the family, all the drama, police showing up to the house, crazy kids showing up to the house, and like my parents, having to go through that, was dealing with them was just, it was a lot, you know what I mean? And it was crazy, you know what I mean? And I remember thinking that I would never do that to my family. I never wanted to be like them. And I just couldn't imagine, like, I didn't understand why they were using drugs. And but little did I know, I was the next one up, you know what I mean? So yeah, as soon as I started using drugs, the same behaviors, the same things that was happening to them, all the chaos that they were causing the family, shortly thereafter, I'm doing the same thing they were doing.
Yeah.
So I immediately felt like guilt and shame using drugs. You know what I mean? And it was at this point in time, it's just for weed. You know what I mean? Like, I remember, I remember stealing from my family, from my friends. Like, I would go to my friend's house. I knew where the lockbox was to get in the house. So I'd go to their house when they were sometimes at school, and I wasn't at school because I wouldn't go to school half the time. Go into their house, steal some change, go up to the corner store, get a couple dollars, meet them after school to like throw in on the weed.
Yeah. You got fives on it.
Yeah,
now.
exactly. I got fives on it.
Fives.
But little do they know, I think they called on, but like, I was taking their money to throw it back in on the blunt, with them.
Yep.
And it was like just crazy. And this is just for weed. Like, I knew it was like a problem. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Normal people don't do that shit.
No.
Right? I mean, I don't know. Maybe they do, but I didn't see it as being normal.
Yeah.
So, my head told me that I was fucked up. Like, I was just whatever. You know what I mean? So it was crazy. Man, I remember some real heavy shit too, like real heavy shit. Like, it was one, like, because I started eventually, I don't know, that just sparked a memory that like I don't talk about much, but I remember like I was like started selling drugs. I must have been like 15, 16. I was selling weed at the time, and I had a big stash. Actually, this was on like 17, and my parents are getting ready to move, and I had my aunt and my uncle like over there. They're over at the house trying to help us move, and I got my stash in this dresser thing in the bottom drawer. So I come home to grab my stash. I open the drawer and it's not there, and they're like, I'm like, where's my shit? You know what I mean? Like, it was like the first time that like this big bag of shit, they found it, and I'm like freaking out. I'm like, what do I do? I needed that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, I need that shit. So I was like, where is it? And no one wanted to tell me at first, so I had to get like really crazy. And like, no, but I mean, like, it was bad. Like, I was like yelling at my uncle and shit, and just felt like such an asshole. Like, I remember feeling like the biggest piece of shit, but it was like I had to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, needless to say, I didn't see that uncle for like 10 years after that.
Yeah.
I think I was in recovery at that point by that time. But yeah, I forgot about that. I don't know, whatever. But so anyway, yeah, we progressed. It got worse. You know, that started going into high school is when I started smoking weed and drinking, and then by 10th grade, I was a full-blown alcoholic, smoking weed every day, starting to pop pills, and I was dropped out by the time I was supposed to be in 11th grade.
What was your first drink? I've been asking a lot.
It was like a
That's like your favorite question.
It is.
It was either like a Natty Ice or a Natty Light.
I feel like
Okay.
that's pretty solid.
And
That's pretty solid.
We had a 30 pack. I forget where we got it from, but I remember exactly like the room and where I was at. I was at my buddy Brian's house, and we were just chugging Natty Light. Like I remember chugging like 5 of them before I puked, and that was like, you know, it was just like just drink as much as you can, and puke as much as you can. But anyway, not distracted at all right now.
Apologies, everybody. We do have animals. We have cats in the studio, and they're running amok.
Oh, they're pleasant
currently.
now.
They're being too cute for words right now, and our host is wrangling cats right now. But anyway, okay.
So anyway,
so you drink your 5 Natty Lights.
Yep.
You're puking.
I'm puking, and needless to say, yeah, whatever. I blacked out. It was rough. I don't remember anything after that. You know, it's all a blur. And so it's the next 8 years. I'm like,
Yeah.
but pretty much, you know.
Yeah.
And so it's like, yeah. It took off quick, and then with dropping out of school, I left my parents' house to go stay with my buddy because his parents were cool with whatever we did.
Yeah.
So we could just get, you know, high at his house all the time, get drunk all the time. So I had a bottle a day. I would drink a liter a day, and then felt like on top of that, I'm smoking weed, popping pills, and 16 years old. And yep, everything went out the window. You know, all sports and activities, all that stuff out the window. Obviously, family, I pushed all the family away. No one wanted to be around. So it was pretty much just, you know, that was it. You know what I mean? So it just progressed, and that was my life for the next 7-8 years. Nothing significant happened during that time.
Yeah.
Other than lots of chaos. You know what I mean? So like that was using. Towards the end of it, you know, a couple charges. I got a couple DUIs, couple possession charges. And it was getting pretty miserable. I mean, it was always miserable. You know, I always hated me. I didn't want to be who I was. I wanted to be someone else. And that's why I kept using. You know what I mean? And then the shame and the guilt of using and all my behaviors, my actions, and all the potential that I had, you know what I mean? Like, throwing it all out the window. That's the stuff, like, that would just keep me going, you know?
It just compounds everything else.
Exactly. And miserable. It's a miserable existence. That's what it was. You know, that's all it was like existing. I mean, at times trying to think like I'm trying to be a thug or something, but like that's not like a way to live. Like I thought it was, but
You would get drunk and do the soldier boy.
yeah, I would get drunk and do the soldier boy. But then once everyone was gone, I was the last man standing by myself, checking my pulse. Am I still fucking gonna make it through the night?
Yeah.
Kind of nights, and let's just keep going anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, it's daylight. Let's put the blinds down. You know what I mean? Like, God, I don't ever want to go back there. That's the shit that I gotta remember. Man. So anyway, I just remember towards the end, it was like I pushed everyone away. At this time, like my father had taken me back in. More so, like my parents split up. I'm like, I don't even know, 21, 22 at this point in time. So my parents had this real ugly divorce, and I get a call from my sister like, hey, this is happening.
Now the cat and the dog are fighting.
Yeah, so
Great.
Not distracted at all. We can always do take 4.
I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's cool. What's up with you, Eric?
What? I'm just chilling. Yeah.
My man.
Distracted by stuff, but chilling.
Cool. So anyway, ugly divorce, right? And I'm like, this is it. This is bittersweet. Like, I gotta go there. I gotta show up for my family. I gotta make sure everyone's all right. And at the same time, I can fix myself. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what the hell that was, like what that thought was, but I just remember thinking that. You know, so like, I stopped everything I was doing and all the things that I had acquired, which was like, I was like selling drugs and living in a fucking shitty apartment with literally like blacked out blinds that I had someone put up for me. So when it was daylight, I was blacking out all the light, and I had a roommate who actually like was a normie. So he'd get up at 5:30 in the morning for work, and I'd be on the couch still like blowing lines or whatever's on the table, and he's just like, dude, you're a mess. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. Peace. Except it was more like miserable than that. It was like, oh, see, man, like, you know what I mean? Like freaking out, kind of like just wanted him to go. So I continued doing what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like, get out of here.
Judged about your lines.
Yeah. So then as soon as he was gone, I was just like, oh, God, I got to do some more so I don't have to think about that. Like,
was that the place in all of you?
Yes.
Okay.
With our friend Sean.
Okay, that was Sean.
Yes.
I could never remember like the timeline because there was a point where like Eric lived there. So was it like it was Sean and Eric, and then it was you and Eric?
I think it was
and Sean.
Me and Sean were first.
You and Sean.
Me and Sean were the ones that went in together, and I only lasted 2 or 3 months at that place, which was the case for anywhere I lived. If the only other place I tried to live in those 7-8 years besides Roby's, where I was when I dropped out and moved there. You know, I spent a lot of my time there, a lot of years there, on and off. But other than that, was that other crazy house I was in for a couple months. You know, other than that, couch surfing, sleeping in a car, or going to mom and dad's for a few days. You know what I mean, out in Hagerstown. But I would just hop around house to house. You know what I mean? Didn't make it to sleeping on the streets. But, you know, I have not yet. But, you know. Like,
very good.
Yeah, exactly. So, but anyway, it could always get worse. Yeah, it could. So where was I?
You gathered some things.
I gathered my things, which was nothing.
Yeah.
Headed to Dad's house to try to save the family, which just turned into an even bigger shit show. Yeah. And I'm on probation. Got to go, you know, pee in a cup for the probation officer, for drug classes, but I hadn't actually, it was all just beginning because I'd just gone to court, and this is like the second time going through all these motions, and I remember just being freaking miserable, you know, like my good friends didn't want anything to do with me, the ones that are actually like my friends but like are normal, they didn't want anything to do with me. My family was only putting up with me. I don't know. I just remember my existence was waking up in the morning. How am I going to get some money to get what I need to get my fix today?
Yeah.
And hopefully I can do enough to where I don't wake up. You know what I mean? Because I remember waking up like very vividly every morning, like angry and upset that I was like, having to go through another day of this shit. Like, that was like the first thought in my head was like, why am I still here? You know what I mean? Like, that was my existence.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not even dumbing it down. You know what I mean? That's actually, it's dumbing it down in the way that it was worse than that. You know, and it was even more miserable than it sounds right now. You know, I literally had holes next to my bed because waking up and punching a wall, like, why the fuck am I alive right now? That was me. But anyway, I went to work one day with my dad to make some money. Coming back, supposed to go to this drug class. Not going to make it on time. Make the phone call. Hey, I'm not going to make it on time. Okay, your counselor wants to talk to you. Let me put Kimberly on the phone. Kimberly gets on the phone. I'm like, hey, so I'm not going to make it. I'm coming home from work. Blah, blah. She's like, Brad, what's really going on with you? I'm like, oh, what do you mean? I'm late. Well, Brad, you keep missing. Like, something's not right. And I'm like, well, like I think I tried to make something up, and then I just stopped, and like literally like everything went through my head.
Just mid bullshit.
Yes, like mid bullshit. I'm like, dude, why am I still doing this? Like in my head, I'm like, what the hell? I'm just like, I just want to die. I don't want to do this anymore. And so I'm like, I want to die. I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I don't want to live. I've been using this whole time. Like, this is fucking miserable. I can't stop. Like, I don't even know what to do anymore. Like, this is just like, I just got honest with this lady for some reason, and she like, and I just stopped talking, and there's silence for a second, and she's like, Brad, and I'm like, what? she's like, it sounds like you're surrendering, and I'm like, the fuck does that mean?
Yeah,
like,
what the fuck?
I was like, literally like, what?
Yeah.
And she's like, do you want help? And I'm like, I guess so. Like, this isn't working. Like, so yeah. I mean, and like that was like the first time like that. Like I guess I told someone how shitty I was feeling, and like I was like ready to like get some help. You know what I mean?
Because I think you had told me in the past, but like I was using as well. Yeah. And it's like, oh, dude, shit sucks. And I was like, yeah, shit sucks.
Exactly. But like, you know, that happens all the time. And then you wake up the next morning,
and it's like,
and you're like,
give me my weed so I can.
Do you remember what happened last night? No, what are you talking about? Yeah. All right, keep it moving. You know what I mean? Like, or you just like you play that shit off like it didn't happen.
I was really fucked up last night. Yeah.
Oh my god. So anyway, yeah. So that was like a big moment for me though, because I got honest. I guess I asked for help, and she was like, come in tomorrow and we're gonna talk and we'll go from there. And it was simple as shit. Come in tomorrow, you know. And that's what I did. You know, I went in there tomorrow and talked to her, and she was like, how do you feel about inpatient treatment or whatever? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I got nothing else. You know what I mean? Like, I'll do it, whatever. And she was like, okay, good. She called a place and got me a bed, you know. This was like a Thursday or Friday, and they had a bed available on a Tuesday or whatever. So I still, of course, I used those next couple days.
Yeah.
Naturally.
I was just about to ask that. I was like, did you have like one last hurrah?
Well, yeah, kind of.
No.
Nothing special. You know, went into town, went into Baltimore City, and we just, whatever. I pissed on a wall. I got a urinating citation. Normal night. You know what I mean? It was cool. You know what I mean? So I had that like $300 fine over my head that I didn't know how I was going to pay. You know, this little $300 urinating citation.
Nice.
Yeah. So that was fun. And so that was my last little hurrah. And off to treatment I went. You know what I mean? And that's where treatment happened. You know what I mean? I was really ready. You know what I mean? Like, I remember going in there and like just miserable. And I'd been like, so when I was like 16, I'd been to like Shepherd Pratt, right? Oh, sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I went to
That's fine.
an institution, and mental health and addiction, and
Co-occurring? Is that a dual diagnosis?
Either one.
Yeah.
It's
and
both.
it was more
dual
like
diagnosis or co-occurring.
Yeah. So I had like this episode, right? And I'm not going to get into that story, but really it was all because I got angry because I couldn't get high this one day, so I did some crazy shit, right? And I ended up in this mental institution or whatever you want to call it. But I remember at 16, like, I just wanted to get out of there. Wasn't taking it serious at all. I just made a dumb mistake, but I knew deep down I had a problem. You know what I mean? But I wasn't ready to do anything about it. So years later, now I'm like 22, and I'm in this place. I know I have a problem, and I know like I want to die. So like I need to do something because it's miserable. You know what I mean? So that's what it was. I was in there and I took it seriously, and I did the best I could to like get honest and take a look at myself. And, the people in there helped me. What really helped me too was, outside like meetings from the rooms came in, and I related a lot to those meetings. The people and everything, I talked to them after the meeting, and I try to stay away from the girls, but, of course, whatever, there's a little flirting going on, but mostly I was there for myself, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was. And, I heard the suggestions that those meetings that came in there, and they had suggestions there too for me, you know what I mean? And I took those suggestions, because one of their suggestions was that, or like what they told me is like, my way has never worked, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, you're right. Like, I've tried everything in my power to do things differently, to use, to manage my using, you know what I mean? Like, cutting this out, whatever it is, and it just never worked. You know what I mean? I couldn't make it for more than 24 hours without putting something in me.
Yeah.
Except for that one time I was in an institution, I had to be off drugs.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Except I don't know what they were giving me. But anyway, so I knew my way didn't work, and I needed to listen and, put my life in someone else's hands. You know what I mean? And, so that's what I did, and I started following simple suggestions that they gave me. Let me take a sip of this real quick.
Me too.
Yeah. So what was suggested to me in my process was, a 3/4 house, halfway house, and that's where I went. Like a 6-month program after a 28-day program where I spent 21 days. So I got into this recovery house, and that was good. You know what I mean? It was a group of guys, and we hit meetings, and that's where I actually first got into a routine of a normal person. You know what I mean? Other than I had to go to house meetings and stuff, and live with 10 fucking dudes, but I guess
it's normal.
But yeah, it's normal.
It's normal for some
me, it was the
people.
most normal thing that I had ever. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean. So but I got a job. You know what I mean? I got a job, and I showed up to that job. You know what I mean? And time went on, and I still had that job after a month. After 2 months, after 3 months. You know what I mean? I still had this job.
How's the restaurant job?
No, it was a landscaping job.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm working landscaping, working my ass off every day, getting back to this, recovery house, sitting in a house meeting, and then going out to another meeting. You know what I mean? And that's what early recovery was. And I made it some time, and I ended up having a slip up, and I relapsed. And I lapsed while I was in that recovery house, and I had 100 and something days clean. I felt really good, but the problem for me was fitting in with these people at these meetings. You know what I mean? Making these new friends. Yeah, there were some cool people I kind of clicked with, but it was I wasn't able to get honest and open with them. And it was tough. I'm an outgoing person, but I'm also very shy, or I guess, I don't know. But so it was just hard to reach out to people, and but I'd still while I was there for that period of time, I saw the way people were living, clean, and it looks good. You know what I mean? People were happy, and they had years clean, and they were having, these great lives and having fun, and I'm but how do I do that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I wasn't willing to ask them, or ask for help, you know what I mean, or whatever. So for me, I guess that self-centered fear or whatever, the fear of reaching out to people at these meetings and trying to really work on myself, whatever, better myself. It was just easier at that time to call my old friends, be hey, what are y'all doing? And let me show y'all how good I'm living now. You know what I mean? Look at me, I'm clean. I started to look good again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was one of the guys that was heavy going into treatment, because I drank a lot. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of empty calories and some alcohol, right?
Yes.
Anyway, I was like 250 going into treatment. Very
that big?
Yeah, I was like 250.
Goodness.
255 I think I weighed in when I went into treatment. And by the end of, oh my God, when I got out of there, even getting out of treatment, I lost like 10 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
But by getting that landscaping job, not drinking every day and doing everything else, in 3 months' time, I literally had shed 50 pounds. You know what I mean? And I looked like a totally different person.
Yeah.
So all my old friends and all these people started looking at me like differently. So like I clung to like going to see my old friends again, and everyone would be like, "Oh my God, Brad! Like, look at you, man! You look so good!" And girls were looking at me differently. So I had all this attention, like, so I was kind of running off of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So long story short, you hang out in a barbershop long enough, you're gonna get a haircut, right? So I'm hanging out with these people long enough.
Don't laugh, Eric.
Yeah, come on.
That's a good. That's a common euphemism.
Yes. I'm simple as shit, Eric.
That's a
You're
common saying. You're fucking laughing. What a dickhead.
Yeah, whatever.
What a dickhead.
Yeah, I guess I expect this. Yeah, okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I love you.
I'm gonna wait. Just a little
Yeah,
longer.
we'll wait. We'll
wait.
pull it.
So I got a haircut, and
metaphorical haircut.
metaphorical haircut,
Yeah.
and it was great. No, it wasn't. But it was the same shit. You know what I mean? I went right back to the same way I was using real quickly, and I was miserable again. And but this time I'm like had acquired some things, meaning like some clean time, you know what I mean? Like I had 100-something days clean, I felt good about myself, started to feel good about myself, and I just threw all that away. And so it was like even heavier, that relapse. It was just like, what am I doing? You know what I mean? Do I really want to go? Is this how I want to live my life? Do I really want to continue doing this? And I remember getting honest with the people at the house, and they let me stay there. What?
Nothing. I just know that Eric. There's a follow-up question to that later.
Okay.
Is there?
There is.
There is.
Okay. Cool.
Follow-up question, yeah. I'm trying to get through this rather quickly.
No, you're doing great.
So yeah, I didn't want to live like that, and I lost my train of thought.
You had been introduced to a new way of life by this point.
Oh yes, a new way of life, and that new way of life looked good, and doing the same thing felt like shit. So, I got honest, and they let me stay at that house, which I'm forever grateful for. It was really that house like saved my life, you know what I mean? And the people in it, and also like the rooms, you know what I mean? People in the rooms really helped me stick and stay. So I brought my ass back to like a meeting, and at this point, like I'd gotten a sponsor. I'm in a 12-step program. Had a sponsor, home group. So I had all these things. The things I wasn't doing was like reaching out and actually getting vulnerable with people and like, working that, that part of the program, or whatever you want to call it. And when I relapsed, that's what like I got honest with my sponsor and was just like, here's what it is, It was just simple. It was really simple. It was like, I'm afraid to reach out to people. Like, how do I stay clean? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How do I live clean? How do I have fun? How do I do this? You know what I mean? And he's like, dude, go to a meeting, raise your hand and say, I'm having trouble staying clean on the weekends. Like as simple as that. And like, and then just, whatever. I did that. And I remember I raised my hand. I shared that corny ass shit in a meeting. But like, that was like a pivotal thing, because at that point in time, there was like this convention going on that weekend, and I had a hot 7 days clean, and this dude Shane, it's like, hey, I need a road dog, and come to this convention with me. And I'm like, shit, let me check my plans. Nope, I don't have anything else going on. Let's do it. You know what I mean? So I go to this convention with like 7 days clean, and just like, that's where like kicked in. Like, I don't know, it was just something about it, the environment and the people, you know, just everyone just so happy and, you know, like all this love and just like
celebrating recovery.
Exactly. That's what it was. Celebrating recovery, celebrating life. And I got a shot of hope. You know what I mean? Like, maybe I can have fun here. Maybe I can have fun clean. You know what I mean? Like, which is stupid because really I just wanted to die before that. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? But I don't even know where I'm going with that. But
was that the Ocean City convention?
No, it was I can't even remember where it is. Like, it's like in the mountains in like Pennsylvania or something. It's not the what's the one that just passed recently that everyone goes to?
Almost Heaven.
Almost Heaven. It wasn't Almost Heaven. It's another one.
Huh.
It's like Shenandoah. Is it? I can't remember.
Erroneous.
I don't even know. I can't remember. But it was a convention up in the woods, and yeah, shot of hope. You know what I mean? And I was ready to like do this thing. You know what I mean? I was ready to get honest, get vulnerable, and meet some people and work on myself or whatever. You know, I was just ready to go balls to the wall recovery because I didn't want to live the way I was living. So that's what I did. I started using my sponsor, started building a network, started talking to people, and hitting as many meetings as I could, picking up the phone, you know what I mean, calling people to get my ass to meetings. And that's what I had to do. And so I left that recovery house with like 50 days clean. You know what I mean? I stayed clean. I got honest. It let me stay there, got my shot of hope, and then was able to leave there with a month and a half, almost 2 months clean. And from there, you know, my time was up. My 6 months was up there. So I had to find a place to live. So I get on Craigslist. I find a spot right in an area that I want to be in, right across the street from a meeting place, and $500, and they don't speak English. I'm like, cool, I'll take it. You know what I mean? Whatever. Perfect. You know what I mean? Because literally, I could ride my bike to that meeting in 20 seconds.
I am El Addicto.
Exactly. So I didn't have a license, and I'm living with some guys that don't speak English, and here I am. You know what I mean? Like, with nothing but a bike, a room, and trying to rebuild or start a life, you know what I mean, like clean. So what did I do? I used the program, you know, the best that I could. I had my literature in my backpack. I hopped on my fat ass. Well, I wasn't so fat at the time. I hopped my ass on that bike, and I rode my ass to meetings. Like, sometimes I'd ride 10 miles to get to a meeting. You know what I mean? Like, and I would go to work. I still had this landscaping job. I'd go to work, and like, that was something I was proud of. I could never hold a job. You know what I mean? Like, when I was using, there was no expectations of me, no responsibilities, because I could not show up for anything. Didn't matter what it was. You know what I mean? Like,
you were a terrible drug dealer.
Terrible drug dealer. No, it was all right.
No, you were good. You were a solid drug dealer.
Yeah, sometimes.
I don't know.
But anyway, so yeah, man.
Can I tell a funny story real quick?
Fine.
Can I derail just really quick? Okay, so Brad was one of my regular drug dealers, and one time I hit him up for some weed, and I think I'm getting some high grade weed. Turns out I was getting some mid grade weed. So I bring high grade weed money to the transaction, and I proceed to buy mid grade level weed with high grade level money. And I give it to him, and we exchange money, whatever, do what we have to do, and then we part ways. Yeah. So I'm looking at this weed, like rolling a blunt, and I'm like, wait a minute, this doesn't look like what I paid for. But like my shit with Brad, because we used together, I was like, well, Brad's worse than me. So as long as Brad is worse than me, I'm okay. Which is so fucked up because he's a fucking brother to me now. But anyway, so he, actually being the great drug dealer he was, calls me and he's like, dude, do you know you gave me like $350 for like mids, and I was like, and I had realized it by this point, and I was like, oh yeah, you can just keep it, dude, because he offered to like reimburse me, and I was just like, no, dude, you can keep it. You need it more than I do. And then I just kept it moving.
It's a little bit of a humble brag. Just a little.
Me?
Yeah.
How's it a humble brag?
Just being a good person and like.
No, it wasn't like. I think it's fucked up. Like I thought he was like a lowly fucking drug addict, and I was like,
"You're extra money, you know?" Like.
Yeah, but I'm not trying to humble brag here. I'm like, dude, you're such a grimy piece of shit. You need the money, not me.
In a way. I really didn't care, but in a way, it did make me feel like a little bit less than.
A little bit, right?
I was like,
doesn't it make you feel kind of shitty?
Because he literally did say those exact words. Like, you need this more than I do, and I was like,
doesn't
and that's the funny thing is, I heard that a lot of times because people would overpay me a lot, and be like, yeah, you need it more than I do. It's like.
That's not, it's not good.
It's not good.
It doesn't feel good, right?
Like, what? Anyway.
You don't want that to happen to you?
Yeah. But it was, I mean, of course I took the money. I was like, hell yeah, this would come up. But I was like, he really thinks I'm a piece of shit. Like, he knows that. Oh my God.
I just thought he was in a bad way. That was all. And I'm sorry.
It's okay. Whatever.
So you have a shot of hope. You're living in this new house. You're biking around. You're looking good. Life is good. Recovery is good.
Recovery is good. And yeah, it was a fantastic time in my life. You know what I mean? And
early recovery is fun.
Early recovery is fun. You know what I mean?
It's fun.
We had a blast. I rode around on that bike, hit meetings, started knowing people all over. You know what I mean? And made some friends, clicked with some people, met a girl, and that's a big part of my life. You know what I mean? That girl that I met, I'm still with 7 years later.
It's the foundation of everything.
I know.
Today,
yeah. But I remember like working the program. You know what I mean? A 12-step fellowship program. Like hard as shit. You know what I mean? Like I chased the drugs. There's another one for you, Eric. You know,
Love it.
That's how I had it.
11 o'clock at night.
Exactly.
Yeah, just keep running this.
This is what you get at 11 o'clock at night.
Now you're on the trolley, Eric.
Yeah.
There you go.
Motherfucker.
It's cliches.
I'm really mad at y'all for making me do this so late. But anyway.
I'm very tired too.
You're killing it.
Whatever. What time did we start, by the way?
I don't know.
It's not 11 o'clock.
It's 10:30.
Yeah,
It's 10:20.
It's later than that, isn't it?
It's
10:26.
How long have we been going?
42 minutes.
Oh, jeez. We're taking up
I know
to the
everyone
front.
thinks they're not going to talk very long, but
Yeah.
then
I
you
know.
start it and your story is a long story. It's not like.
But it's
But it's really not.
Well, but
I'm taking
everyone's-
too long.
No, but everyone's story is long, like when you actually go into like the details of it.
Yeah.
You're not doing like a regular share, you're doing your story.
So anyway, I'll shorten it up. Just kidding.
No.
I'll try to. But I started working 12 steps, you know what I mean, with the sponsor. Meetings every day, holding a job, you know, becoming accountable, networking, find friends that I was able to fit in with, and my life got really good really quickly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it was a great time, you know what I mean? We hit meetings on the weekends. It was like meeting after meeting, and we're just hanging out, you know, and we were just totally cool with hanging out at Starbucks, drinking coffee, and just getting deep. You know what I mean? Just hours of just talking, and sometimes, most of the time, it was bullshitting, you know, having fun. But then there was also those deep conversations where we would get honest, and like those are the conversations like that you like live for. You know what I mean? Like human connection. You know what I mean? Like that's what it's about. Like the love and the relationships. You know, that's what I live for is relationships, love, like people. That's the blessings of recovery right there. You know what I mean? Like before, I didn't have any relationships.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I thought I was never going to have a relationship, you know what I mean? Like with a woman or whatever, but like I never had like full or whatever, any kind of intimate relationship with anyone. You know what I mean? It was just like not there. That didn't exist. And I literally, my self-esteem was so low that like I thought I would never be enough for someone. You know what I mean? I remember like vividly thinking that I was just going to be alone the rest of my life if I stayed alive. But like, you know, that changed. You know, I found a girl, and a few years later, I'm engaged. This more like a girl. She was like a woman. You know what I mean? Like, so here I am now with a job, a place to live, seeing this woman who has kids, and I'm like a full 180. You know what I mean? And shit got crazy. You know what I mean? Like, we've been through a lot of ups and downs. We're still together. It's almost coming up on 7 years. You know what I mean? And been engaged for almost 4 years now. I probably should get on that. But yeah. But anyway,
That's a complex bag of snakes.
But has it been 4 years? It's been 4 years.
3. I think 3 years.
Yeah, 3.
Yeah.
No.
It's Christmas.
Is it 4?
I think this Christmas will be 3.
No,
So it's Christmas.
no. I wasn't here.
Because you got...
Okay, maybe it was 4 years.
Yeah, because you
Whatever,
got,
I'm trying
engaged
to-
before I was with my girlfriend,
But anyway,
which has been 3.5.
so coming up on 4 years.
No, man.
We've been engaged for 4 years.
God, we're old.
And she's a great, fantastic woman with children. And like,
You just had
what
your own
the
child.
fuck? I know, I'm getting there. I haven't
Okay,
got to that
sorry.
part yet. You know what I mean? But like,
Spoiler alert.
spoiler alert, I have a child of my own blood.
Of my own blood.
I planted a seed in recovery. Shit. There's your title. Planted a seed
in recovery.
Anyway.
Wow, that's
Oh,
good.
Jesus. But no,
Nailed
like,
it.
damn, I mean, recovery has been such a journey. Relationship and building a family, like, that just was unfathomable. You know what I mean? Like, I seriously thought so low of myself that would never happen. And, like, here I am now, you know, 7 years clean. I have a 2.5-year-old son now, 2 stepchildren, 11 and 12, you know, middle schoolers. Scariest fucking shit in my life. Like, I should not be raising children. But apparently, like, I'm a good
great.
father, whatever.
You're great.
You know what I mean? I do the best that I can, which is scary, but like, it's crazy. So, now I'm drawing blank. I think I wouldn't be where I am today without like a 12-step fellowship, 12-step program. So I'm forever grateful for that. And I mean, it's not easy battling complacency, you know, being around here for a little bit of time, being clean, like it gets hard, you know what I mean? And going on vacation, and vacations are great. Like, that's what I live for. Live for like going out, seeing things, you know what I mean? I couldn't do that when I was using. I was stuck, you know, stuck in that bubble, and I always wanted to travel, but I didn't have the means to do it. So that's what I live for today. You know, I want to better my life. I want to better my kids' life. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy that these are my thoughts today. And it's not about like, you know what I mean? Like,
the thinking is just it's so mind blowing how it can evolve and recover.
Yeah, I made like my program, whatever. My recovery has not been perfect. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, early recovery was great, and I fucking ran like crazy to these meetings and everything, but I'm started over at step 1. I haven't even made it through the 12 steps completely. I've been through 3 sponsors. I've gone over a 4-step a few times with 3. Yeah. I've gone over the same 4-step with 3 different sponsors. You know what I mean? But I haven't made it through all 12. And here I am at step 1 again. And like procrastination and whatever, complacency, it's tough. You know what I mean? With all these things that I've accumulated in life, it's easy to use that as an excuse. But I know I need to get back to it. So anyway, I don't know. I'm kind of jumping around now, but I haven't worked a perfect program. but I'm still here.
Nobody does.
No, my recovery has not been perfect. I don't know what else to say about that. But it's been fantastic. Life is a lot
better.
Way better. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't have a life. I wanted to die. And now I look forward to the future. You know what I mean? And I want to stay alive for the future. You know what I mean? I still smoke cigarettes. I want to quit smoking cigarettes because I want to be alive for my children. You know what I mean? And my fiance makes me feel like an asshole because I still keep smoking, but like she's right. You know what I mean? And
she quit a long time ago.
She did. So like those bad behaviors, it's hard to get rid of them all. But a lot of my behaviors have changed, and I've hung on to a few, and it's easy to revert back to them sometimes, but I guess the only thing that I've done perfectly is I haven't picked up, Eric.
Share
That's
that.
I've done perfect.
That's the hit right there.
Yeah.
There it is.
So I still have a chance, to have a good life, to better my life, and to be a part of other people's lives. And it's fantastic, man. Life is really good. You know what I mean? It's exciting. It's scary as shit. Being a dad, raising children. Like, there's so much fear mixed into that too. Like I shouldn't do it, but like I will find myself like thinking about things that could happen to my children, and like, it sucks. It's like,
don't do that.
I feel like I'm sure most parents probably do the same thing, but it's like, I think about like the word, like if I was to leave, if I was something, car, or whatever,
leave?
you know what I mean? To pass away, to leave. I was like trying not to say it. Like if I was, I don't know why. Like I don't want to say if I was to die.
I was like, where are you going, Brad? Like,
maybe just please knock on wood. Like, you know what I mean? Like, or if they, but even worse would be if they were. If I lost a child, like I literally don't know what I would do. So like my reservations that in my seven, you know what I mean? Like I didn't have very many, I thought, but now with like children,
this whole first step is going to be entirely different.
Yeah, it is. So yeah, I mean, like,
wow.
I think about that shit too often, and it scares the shit out of me. But hey, maybe that's a healthy fucking fear, that I need to use to propel me to get to the next step. You know what I mean?
I was actually just going to ask that.
Yeah. So,
do you find fear to be like a motivating factor of either life or recovery?
Yes. I mean, it has to be. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I should probably use it more so than I do. But like, like the fear of me like passing away early, because I have an aunt right now who's on hospice, and she's got cancer, and she's been smoking for 40 years, 30, 40 years. You know what I mean? My grandfather passed away smoking. My grandmother, emphysema. You know what I mean? Like, it runs in the family. And, that... Well, where were we? Talking about fear. It's scary, man. She's young. You know what I mean? I don't want to go young. Like, her kids are, younger than me, but they're like 20, 24, you know what I mean? 20, 27. But she's just recently got grandchildren in the picture, and one of, I don't know, her daughter's about to get married, and it's like, she's going to miss all that. I don't want to miss anything. But, everyone's got, your time is going to end, but I want to be around. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm talking about, I really need to quit smoking. Well, that's what it is. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. That's my answer for your question, I guess.
Fair enough.
Fear could be a motivator. I should use it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I definitely try to use fear as like a motivation for just like achievement, just for that very reason. Like it's FOMO. It's fear of missing out.
Yeah.
It's 100% what it is.
Which I have that
You do very
I have
much.
FOMO very bad.
But like also like to propel my recovery forward is like fear of going back to the piece of shit that I was.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to go back to that life.
Yes.
And so like fear of
Yes.
my past.
All that.
Like keep moving.
For sure.
What you got, Eric?
I only have one question this time. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Bullshit.
It's only one question. One. Let me get closer. One question. So what are you doing? So I know your parents were like struggled with addiction.
Yes.
Right. This is a question I've brought up before with you. And you and your fiance both have addiction. So is there a concern?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
How much of a concern? Does it weigh on you kind of like all the other stuff that you think about? Or is it just kind of like occasionally it'll pop into your head and be like, fuck?
I mean, does it weigh on me? I mean, yes, when I'm thinking about it. You know what I mean? But like, it's not like I'm constantly thinking about it. But yeah, of course, I've definitely gone down that
rabbit hole.
Yeah, that rabbit hole of, man, like if Noah or any of my children, and I've already like, looking at the older kids, like seeing some of their behaviors, it's like, you know what I mean? Because, Kim, my fiance, she's an addict as well. And she's in recovery. Yeah. So I already see red flags, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, man, and being in recovery and I've heard people's stories of, people losing children, and I just couldn't imagine, you know what I mean? Like, and I've been in recovery, been through, me, myself personally, I haven't lost, like, not yet really anyone really close to me, but like my fiance has had a lot of loss real close to her, like her brother committed suicide and, I didn't even get into that part of the story, or like it's not my story, but like, you
have a complex story, man.
I do, I guess. I don't know. It seems so non-complex, but that's what I do. I dumb everything down. But like, there's a lot. I've been through a lot.
There's a lot of stuff,
Yeah, and a lot of it I've been through with her. We've been through a lot together, and she's been through a lot. You know what I mean? I've been there with her, holding her hand through the whole, thing. And really sometimes, I mean, I'm an asshole, so really sometimes all I can do is just be there. But that's like, that's the best I can do sometimes. But yeah, one of the hardest things was the older kids, my stepchildren's father passing away. He moved down to Florida to be a motorcycle mechanic, and he passed away in a motorcycle accident, and the kids were like 6 and 7 at the time. This is gotta be like, it's like been like 5 years now. 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, I remember
it's
that.
Been that
6
long?
and 7, 7 and 8.
It was a dark time.
Yeah. So like, I remember having to sit there, when that phone call happened, because it was like 2:30, it was in the middle of the night, and I just knew that was not a good phone call. You know what I mean? Like, who is calling this late at night? And then when she looks at it and she says, like, Florida or whatever, like, this kid, like, we just knew, you know what I mean? And like a few words in, like, I hear over the phone and she's just bawling, crying, like, no. And I'm just like, oh my God, what do I do? Like, you know what I mean? And like, the only thing I could do was like hug her, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't even know what to say. And then that wasn't even the hard part. The hard part was when we had to sit the children down and sit them down on the bed and tell them that their father, passed away and that they're never going to see him again. Or like, like that shit was like unreal. Yeah. So the shit was heavy.
Yeah.
So I don't even know why that came up. What was your question? But
the genetic
thing.
lineage of
the genetic thing, it scares me. Yes, it scares the hell out of me. Mother, father, both of my older sisters, And then me, my youngest sister right now, she's struggling. She spent some time in jail this year. DUIs, possession. She's just, I haven't talked to her actually since like the beginning of this year. So I feel really bad. It's been like 7 months since I've talked to her.
What month is this? September?
September. This year has flown by. You know what I mean? And, yeah, it's hard keeping up with all the siblings. But, you know, like my older siblings are doing better now. They're not in, 12-step program or anything, but they're doing all right. You know, could they be in one? For sure. I think everyone could be in a 12-step fellowship. I mean, it's just, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't say that, Eric. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, it's not for everyone, but, like, it's good morals and values to live by or something, whatever. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't want to live any other way, I don't think. Anyway. So I think I strayed away from your question again.
It's okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's all.
We're tired, man. That's pushing
all
11
I have
o'clock
right now.
I have one question that will hopefully ramp this up to like a happy note.
Okay.
Because I want that.
Yeah,
so, turning point of your convention. Yeah. I fucking spoiled my own shit. Turning point of your own recovery, turning point of my recovery, conventions. So, brief synopsis for people out there listening if you don't know. There are these conventions that addicts hold all around the country.
Addicts, alcoholics.
Alcoholics, lots of different...
Just general people.
Lots of different recovering human beings have these conventions. There's several in the Maryland area. There's Ocean City, there's Hunt Valley, there's Almost Heaven, there's some mystery one in Pennsylvania that Brad went to.
They're everywhere.
We get together and... we have a great weekend together. I mean, and I want to hear Brad's take on amazing parts about conventions. What do you love about conventions? Like, give your synopsis.
They're great.
When's the last time you went to a convention?
Nailed it. Nailed it. Fucking home run right there. Fucking grand slam.
Really?
We both last year.
Was it last year?
Yeah, me and you went last year down in Ocean City.
Yeah, and then I had to leave at like 3 a.m. to drive home because Kim had something like a hair appointment at 10 o'clock.
I know, and she went to her hair appointment.
It was like a 2.5 hour drive.
But yeah, we fucking bopped around, had a great time.
It is fantastic, though. I mean, when you get together with that many people and all facing, that's the program. Is you're getting together with a group of people that share the same problem or very similar problems that you do. Like, we are not unique. You know what I mean? Like, so many millions of people suffer from what we suffer from.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Yes, the drugs are just a symptom, right? But we all share that common bond, right? So we can all relate. So it makes sense. It's a support group of, you know what I mean? Like, that's what 12-step fellowships are to me. I mean, it's more than that. But that, like, to keep it simple, it's like, one addict helping another. You know, it's a support group. We can relate. We help each other through our common problem. You know what I mean? So yes, when you go to a convention and all these mix of people are there and we're all sharing the common problem,
like such a big scale.
The thing is, like, it's gonna be a good time. You know what I mean? You're gonna get deep. As long as you're there for the right reasons. Some people go there and like get all dressed up and just whatever, but like that's life. You know what I mean? But like, part of it, you can go there and you can see all these recovering people having a great time, clean, sober, you know what I mean, and just loving life. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, they're fantastic.
Yeah.
I've gotten a lot of hope out of conventions. Obviously, hot 7 days clean. That was my shot of hope. So, I mean, I've strayed away from conventions. It's hard to get to them now with children. You know what I mean? That's why, it's hard to get out to conventions. You know what I mean? Because it's like, what do I do with my kids? I can't take like 3 kids to a convention now.
Yeah.
So I don't get out to as many, but I'd love to be able to get out to as many. You know what I mean? So I love raising children, but I look forward to when they're a little bit older and I can get back into doing some of the things that I did like in early recovery, like hang out all night, go to meetings and go to conventions.
Yeah.
Just kidding. But maybe no. By that time I'll be old as fuck and probably just want to sit on my couch and do nothing.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
but yeah, man, there's a special electricity at conventions. Eric's, I don't know, not like that sort of a big amount of people person, I don't think.
Nope.
He's not. Nope. I think you like the idea of conventions, just not you engaging in them.
No, I think they're fine for other people.
Yeah.
I find them to be terrifying and awful places that I don't need to be at.
Absolutely.
When I go to these conventions, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
I just wasted a lot of money
They
to come to a place I don't want to be.
They can be overwhelming, but no.
Excuse me.
I love the electricity of being in a room like the big one in Ocean City has like a couple thousand people in the main speaker.
I'm just not about that life. That like rah, like, yeah, go us.
I know.
That guy has a day clean. Yeah.
No.
I just don't fucking care.
This 3-person three person, some microphones, some cats. And some recovery.
Dude, that's what I need. Like I don't need that nonsense.
I love this room.
Like the clean time countdown sort of shit, that takes forever. Like come on. Dude.
It does.
Keep it moving.
Sorry.
It's a great time.
The horn?
Fantastic.
The horn at the no? Okay.
I usually leave when they start because I'm like, this is gonna fucking take forever.
Eric, I got a question for you.
What?
What if it's just like something inside of you? Is it some self-centered fear where you just don't feel comfortable? What makes you so uncomfortable about these conventions and these?
No, I've just accepted who I am.
You just accepted who you are.
Yeah, like I'm just not an extrovert.
Okay.
You know, like I accept that I don't like.
You are a cat.
I am kind of like I relate to cats. I have lots of cats. Like I'm good with like small groups. If it goes over a certain number, I'm like, ugh, I don't really like this.
Yeah.
You know, like I've been at your house and then it like hits a certain number and I'm just like, I need to.
And then you just ghost.
Yeah.
You just disappear.
I mean, there's times where like I'm at parties and I'll just do an Irish goodbye because I'm like, this is awful. Why are there so many people?
And what is an Irish goodbye?
When you just leave without saying goodbye.
Oh.
But no one notices because there's so many fucking people there.
That's insulting to the Irish.
Yeah. Well, everyone's recovery process is different.
Yeah, man. You know what I mean? Like,
you don't need conventions.
I've been to multiple conventions, but you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I'm surprised I'm in a home group or you know, as large as it is. Yeah. The one I used to be in was like there's like 4 people there.
Yeah, but that was Chicago, wasn't it?
No, here.
Oh yeah,
remember?
That's right.
There was like 4 or 5 people.
The candlelight.
Who came and like that was it.
All right.
Yeah, I guess that's.
I think we're about wrapped up. I would like to thank our special guest Brad, who's actually very famous on this podcast, for coming in and finally.
You got mentioned tonight.
So many times.
Today? To what?
No. What?
Oh wait, it was after.
No,
that
was after. It was post pod. But yeah, man, thanks for coming and sharing a great message with us.
Yes, thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
Here at Podcast Recovery, we are aiming to expand the scope of support for recovering addicts. Accessibility and convenience of helpful services is paramount to combating addiction. We work to bring the message of recovery to every addict, wherever and whenever it is needed. We believe that a powerful voice of recovery should be obtainable, practical, and at the touch of a button. Every addict deserves to hear a message of hope, and Podcast Recovery is here to provide it. All right. Well, do you have any last words for us, Brad?
Man, I wish I did, but I don't.
That's fine.
All right.
That's fine.
You sure? Thank you guys.
That's
for letting me come out and share whatever crap I just shared with you, and yeah, appreciate y'all. Keep doing what you're doing.
Love you, buddy.
Love you too.
All right. Well, to all our listeners out there, please go to podcastrecovery.com, go to our Facebook page, go to our Facebook group, go to our Twitter page. Check us out on your local apps for podcasts.
Yeah,
Stitcher,
rate,
Castbox.
review, subscribe.
Review, subscribe. Invite your friends. Invite
Tell
your
your
family.
friends.
Tell your friends. Yeah.
Cool.
Hope everybody enjoyed the show. Have a great night. Stay safe. Stay clean.